Welcome in, folks. We are back at it on the Exploration CG, and I'm sitting on a planet here in the Caspian because I'm me. I got distracted by Exobio, predictably. But we're going to see just what we can manage here. So let's get moving. We've got... Oh yeah, probably ought to replot my route here, huh? 15 jumps by the book. That gets us back to over top of Rainbow's End. That does not get us to Rainbow's End. Gonna have to do a little creative plotting for that one, I think. But we'll see. I'm not too bothered about it. Where is my current standing? I was top 50. I'm still top 50. I don't know how. It perplexes me greatly. Hopefully this trip here will bump me up into the top 25, but no big hurt if it doesn't. And we will be able to pay our fine now. I see they've, through the news channels, I've noticed that the administrative contacts are active, which is good, because we're a little delinquent. I was not streaming for that, but essentially what happened was Rainbow's End is way down in the galactic plane, like -600 below the galactic plane. It's obscene and inconvenient. But as an unintended consequence, it also means when you are looking out of the mail slot, there is no star field. At least nothing overly visible. It's no density down there. And I went plowing out of that mail slot in my Mandalay and promptly found the dolphin that was stuck in the mail slot. How you get a dolphin stuck in a mail slot is beyond me. That's a curiosity all its own. Right into it. So I did gain a fine all my own after making gratuitous fun of Delta for having a fine and not being able to dock properly. But we'll see what we run into here. We'll get that cleared up, and hopefully we get bumped up into the top 25. Not that it matters. The money is literally meaningless. I made that much on the planet I just took off from. But we'll see what the night holds. I apologize. I've been kind of low energy this week and last week. It was kind of a rough week with everything going on with the dog and stuff like that. And coming up here in April, I will be back on the overtime list. So I'm probably going to have to cut weekday streams. Well, maybe not. Here's the deal. Because of the way our days off work at the wonderful Postal Service, my day rotates. So one week I'll have Monday, the following week I'll have Tuesday, the week after Wednesday, so on, until you get to Friday, because our week starts over on Saturday. So you have Friday off one week, and then at the end of Friday, the next week starts, and that week's day is Saturday. So every couple of weeks I end up with Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But it's going to be kind of hard to schedule that with any routine. So what I'll probably do is do a Sunday stream that is a dedicated time, and then I will just pop one up on my day off. You know, I'll try to give plenty of warning, schedule it out a couple hours so people can find it, that kind of thing. But it's not going to be a reliable, oh, it's Tuesday night. You know, it's just the nature of the beast. And I'll probably be on that for 6 months-ish, I've decided. I used to just live on it, and it was nice. The money is outstanding, but quite honestly, life is too short to live on the overtime list. Now, I just saw one there. So what I've decided to do instead is do 2 quarters of the year, because we can change our overtime status quarterly. So the beginning of the year, I jumped off the list, and I jumped back on for April, which is Q2. Now, when I jump off the next time, I will get onto what's called the work assignment list, which means I am entitled to and will be working any overtime that occurs on my own route. But it does not mean that I will get dragged in to cover other routes or, have my days run 60-hour weeks, things like that. It's a nice middle ground, especially in the winter, because on a walking mail route when the snow falls, it's not going to be done in the amount of time it normally is, so you've got some overtime opportunities. But, long story short, I'm going to work my tail off for about 6 months, and for the other 6 months of the year, I'm going to take it kind of easy. And we're coming out of that 6 months, unfortunately. Wait a minute. Should probably look at those. I was scanning and yapping and not paying attention. Bunch of biologics I don't care about. Moving on. So that's going to be that. I am going to work on a vintage story thing. I know we're playing Elite, but I've got it on my mind, so let's go ahead and talk about it. I very much love that game. And I want to do some kind of series on it. I don't know if I would really stream it. It's really the only way for me to do it, though. And I say that because I just flat out do not have the time to edit long-form content. Especially to make it worth watching in the end. It's several hours of commitment per hour of gameplay. And I don't have the time. So if I do Vintage Story, it will go one of two ways. It will either be a live stream series on its own that I'll just throw in here and there, because I am still very much loving Elite. I don't have any plans to stop playing or anything. I just thought I'd throw a little variety in, and that is the game that has been calling to me. But it'll either end up being a live stream, or what I may do instead is pre-recorded episodes that are live stream style. And by that I mean lazy. I will record it all one shot, maybe cut out any major gaffes, and throw an intro screen on it. And that'll be the video series if I go that way. I haven't quite decided. What I'm doing at the moment is nailing down what kind of mods and how I want to play this story, because I've played quite a bit of that game. I've never beaten it in vanilla, and I don't really care to be perfectly honest. The mechanics that get you to endgame, well, not necessarily the mechanics, but the story-ish line, it doesn't really have a storyline. It kind of does, kind of doesn't. The point is, it doesn't appeal to me at all. And the mechanics for a lot of the combat don't appeal to me either, so I'm definitely going to be doing a custom playthrough of some kind, probably fairly heavy on the mods, which also means vetting all the mods, right? Because just like any other game that you put a mod or 2 or 3 or 5 or 50 on, eventually you're going to run into a combination that either doesn't work or interacts one mod to another in a very unintended way. And I've got kind of a staple group of mods that I play with that I just can't live without, HUD mods, things like that. But I'm going to kind of get a list together, double check all the dependencies, because some mods depend on other mods, some mods don't work well with other mods. It's the curse of modding a video game. But once I get all that put together and tested in a world, and I've decided that that's going to work, I think I will start working on that project in earnest. It's just not on the front burner right now. We have found zip so far. I was really hoping I only had to talk about Vintage Story for a couple minutes before we'd run into something. So much for the easy content. I am getting better though. I remembered the headphones, I remembered not to have the mic muted, and I remembered to drink, so winning. I forgot to take the dog out. At some point, that's going to be an issue. Well, maybe. I don't know. We went out right when I got home. She might be okay. And that was kind of late, because I had my chiropractic appointment today. Which they informed me they wanted to see me again, and I also found out that my favorite chiropractor is leaving. Very upset about that. His wife is in the Army, and apparently Uncle Sam has decided to tell them they are moving elsewhere. And it kind of sucks for me, because he's the only one that can really get this left shoulder to do what it needs to do. Hey, welcome in from the UK. Trying to remember, is it early or late for you? It's late. It's very late. Yeah, because you follow in game time. Wow. Well, welcome in. I'm rambling and ambling, for lack of a better collective description. Working my way back towards Rainbow's End. I signed up for the CG, kind of went up and then off into Mare Somnia, and now I'm headed back. Gonna see what I can come up with in terms of CG data. Not that it matters. This ship I'm flying already has the reward scanner equipped because I got it from another exploration CG about a year ago. And I've got the money. And if I didn't have the money, I'd go scan one stratum. I don't know what they were thinking with these rewards. Unless they just wanted to water them down so that people in the bubble didn't get butthurt about it. Which is possible. And if they did, I get it. Are you out on DW3? I have no idea how to pronounce that. We're going to go with Pado. I've kind of lost some of my zeal for DW3. I don't know whether it's just because it's slowed down or whether because I'm actually getting burnt out. I'm not really sure which. Feeling kind of good tonight, though. I got the vibe tonight. I could play for a while. Shouldn't, because I do have to work tomorrow, so I should really probably call it at my normal 3 hours, but I don't know. I'm enjoying the evening. Yeah, no, that was where I was at last week. I parked on Distant Suns and just kind of sat there. I was quite content to do that. Ah, very good. I wouldn't say I have an outstanding command of the English language, but I do bumble through it well enough. Yeah, I have a second account, so I was busy in the bubble doing other things. What was I doing? I can't even remember now. Something semi-important. Oh, I was doing power play. Power play for the Bathwater Princess. Not that I subscribe to the Bathwater Princess, but for that account, it's kind of more of a roleplay account, and I don't intend to remain pledged to anybody. But I do want prismatics, and the fastest path to prismatics is through Aisling's Bathwater, unfortunately. So I was doing some mining and rare goods trading and stuff. It does help having another account. Be able to go out and if you're just sick of exploring or you're in one of those awkward times where you don't really want to, leave the carrier because it may move on you, that kind of thing. I mean, not that it's an issue in a Caspian. I ran, I think, all the way to Beagle Point without actually riding on a carrier. I'd have to go back and think about it a little more. If I did ride, it was like 2,000 or 3,000 light years. It was not anything substantial. Oh, that's no good. Yeah, I just got out of the chiropractor today myself for a similar issue. And I thought I was doing great. I walked in and I said, for the first time in I don't know how long, I don't know what to put on my check-in form because nothing in particular hurts. And then I laid down on the table and immediately my lower back hurts. He got me squared up and said he wanted to see me again Thursday instead of waiting till next week. So we'll see. It does seem to help. I was on the fence for a long while about going to a chiropractor because it seems entirely too easy and also too high maintenance. But I can attest it does seem to be working as intended. Ah, there you go, yeah. Waypoint 8 using the carrier for the first time. I don't think I'm going to use it the rest of the trip, to be honest. I've rode along here and there since Beagle. Mostly when I couldn't play because of work or something and I actually needed to ride along, but now that they seem to have got the landing sorted out on the Caspian, I think I may just stay in the Caspian. And I've got intentions after turning in this data. Hey, we got some things to scan here. Let's go hit that water world. After turning in this data for the CG, I'm going to hold all my data through the remainder of the expedition. Because right before we left, I repledged this account to Leon Rui. Because I'm at that point where the mining bonus for the creepy spider grandma lady doesn't do me any good anymore. I mean, it does. It absolutely still boosts your profit. I just don't care. I've got a fleet carrier and several billion on the side, so she can take her 35%. But what I primarily do is exploration. Lee does rewards for exploration, so. Oh, that's no good. Yeah, we've got a buddy in our play group that has fibro. And he is, it must be a time of year thing, because he is also having not a fun month. In fact, he pretty much felt it coming on and said, hey, I'll be out for about a month, I'll see you in April. And true to form, we haven't seen or heard much from him. It's a miserable thing to contend with, as I understand it. That should deal with that. What was the other one? Oh, there's 2 water worlds. Okay. 5 and 7. No, I get being stuck in the chair, though. That's no fun at all. I would suggest if you can be vertical at all and you would like to play, you might try using a controller. I know I'm a HOTAS user. I know a lot of people do keyboard and mouse. But I had a period where my main rig here was in storage and I was playing on low graphics on a laptop. And I could not get on board with keyboard and mouse after, a year or 2 of playing with the HOTAS. So I got a cheap controller on Amazon, and it's not awful, honestly. It was more intuitive than I thought it would be. And if I weren't so in love with the hands-on stick and throttle, I would probably always play controller. If it were between that and keyboard, at least. But since I entered the VR world, the HOTAS has been much more fun. Yep. Yeah, that sounds like we're doing about the same thing. Since I repledged, I'm only like rank 5, so I'm hoping as I sell pages of data, I rank up and get a little more bonus. We'll see. I don't know how much I can rack up between now and then. I imagine the expedition's going to start winding down in pretty rapid fashion now. I expect in the next week or 2 they'll probably be announcing the beacon for the decal. The next milestone I was looking for was the station deployment, and that kind of came out of nowhere. At least to me. I mean, I knew it was coming, but when I looked in the announcements channel and went, oh, there's a station there, I was a little caught off guard. Because I didn't think it would be quite that fast, or I thought maybe there'd be more build-up, delivery missions or something. Now I'm wondering why I brought a Panther Clipper. But, live and learn. I just assumed they'd have us do some kind of hauling, to deploy the station. I didn't imagine FDev would just drop it in there and, mic drop it and walk. But when was the last time FDev did anything anybody thought was expected? Other than power creep the next ship they release, which they're getting pretty good at. Yeah, I've been nursing along on the carriers a little too much. And it occurs to me that I've never been on my own or without carrier support. The first time I'd ever been at all was on this trip, and the 2 farthest trips out I've been on were both carrier-supported expeditions. So I think at some point in the next year, I may kit out an old Phantom, as I do love my Phantom, and I may take a trip straight out to Beagle and back. Salome's Reach if I can swing it. If I decide to go raw on the Phantom, I'll be jumping like 36, 37 light years, I think, so that will be out of the question. Oh, hey, there you go. Yeah, standing may be the ticket. I've never tried to fly standing up, but I imagine that would be interesting. VR, I don't know that I have any advice there. You just have to please the gremlins, that's all I can say. I use a Quest 3, and I kind of wish I'd just waited on a Steam frame. Because I never used the standalone function. I bought it exclusively to play Elite in, and I very much enjoyed that experience. So I feel like I'm wasting an awful lot of hardware and capability there, but I had some woes getting mine to stay connected. Do you do like an Airlink over the Wi-Fi kind of thing, or do you have a link cable set up? Also, how do you like that HOTAS? Or you're using HOSAS, I guess. I've never done the stick and stick thing, but I've got the X56 HOTAS set, and the throttle gives me an awful lot of fits. I get a lot of ghosted inputs and things like that, so most of my key switches over there are long presses, and even still, I occasionally will get some ghosting. If you look off to the side there, you'll see my heat sinks deactivated, because that was the mission and the hill it chose to die on the other night. It just kept dumping heat sinks, and while I have mats aplenty to restock them, why waste them? Just turn it off. But I am looking to replace it in the somewhat near future. I've been looking at VKBs. I'm not sure which direction I'm going to go. Once I'm back on the overtime list here in April, it won't really matter which direction I go, which will be nice. Let's see if there's anything good here. At the moment, I'm only really stopping for Tectonicus in terms of bios, unless I find something real good. If I bump into some crystalline shards, I would go stop for that. I don't know that it's been tried. I'm sure you're familiar with the Braintree Flak Cannon mining method. Sounds like you've probably been playing for a while. And that it no longer works. But I don't know if anybody's tested it on crystalline shards. Mainly because they're so far out. By the time you get out there, is it really worth hauling the extra equipment with you to make that work? And the answer in a Caspian is absolutely. Because the nearest one to the bubbles are only like 4,500 light years out, and that is a 40, no, it's not even a 40, it's like a 20-minute trip in a Caspian, even with the added weight. Okay, yeah, that's the other route I had considered, was using an eye tracker with the voice attack. I use voice attack in VR sometimes as well, mostly to operate ED Copilot. As far as the virtual desktop thing, I don't really have any advice for that. As long as your Meta Link app is updated and the headset is updated, I'm not really sure what else to do. Mine doesn't always launch smoothly. Sometimes I have to link the headset to the PC, even if I'm not running desktop. Just running the link, and then launch Elite, and then go into the 3D graphics settings and switch it to the head-mounted display. Every now and then it gets fussy. Thankfully, it's been mostly smooth. I do have problems when I stream with the VR, though. For whatever reason, it does not like... It only wants to keep certain windows updated. So sometimes if I've alt-tabbed onto something, my chat will stop updating and I won't notice for a minute until I look under my nose and see that it's moved on from the last thing I read. Oh, Down to Earth Astronomy. I like watching his stuff. That's cool. Yeah, I've always wondered if I would like the sticks, and I'm not sure I would, just because I like to multitask and I like that I can set my throttle and leave it. I wouldn't call it embarrassing. Uh, let's be honest. A lot of the stuff today, first of all, you're used to fixing problems that have a solution, and I am no shame in saying companies like Meta and their enclosed ecosystems often create their own problems that you as an end user just can't solve, regardless of your knowledge base on the subject matter. Which I take fundamental issue with, but what are you gonna do? They're the ones making it, and I'm a whore for good graphics, and I really enjoyed VR. Can't even deny it. But I wouldn't take that as a personal failing at all. I am a ham radio operator. I've built my own radios, and if any of the radios I've purchased break with all the surface mount components, there isn't a chance in hell I could fix them, even if I could figure out what I had screwed up. The more likely scenario is that I could at least identify what was wrong, but lack the skill, eyesight, or equipment to correct the problem. Ah, that's a good idea. That's part of the reason I was looking at the VKBs, because they have the adjustable detents. And this one had them at one point. I've really kind of killed my tension on it. In fact, it has very little resistance these days. Sometimes it comes and goes. Sometimes it's almost too tight to move, and other times it's great. Really horrible in combat. But the detent that was there, wherever it was, is gone. It's smooth as butter now. I have done that, though, because I can do that with this stick here. I've got a keyboard press map to set it to 75%. And it has same scenario. As long as I don't move the throttle, it's fine. Can't remember why I did that, because I very rarely use it now, but I had a purpose at one point. Okay. After watching Arcanic as much as I have, I feel like I am just the slowest person with the FSS scanner. And I know that that is due to the fact that I'm doing it with a thumbstick on a throttle, or on a stick, but I'm okay with it. You know, I don't get nearly the rush he does. I just kind of like to explore and chill. And if you're unfamiliar with Arcanic, I highly recommend you check him out. He is forever searching for the green gas giant. Or what I should say is the next one. He's looking for number 64. I keep joking that I may find it first. I'd have to play a lot more. That dude's got some systems under his belt. Whole lot of nothing. It's been really hit or miss out here. I was doing really well up in the Fomorian frontier. And since we've moved out of there, my luck has apparently run dry. Lady Luck has left me at the bar. I found a helium-rich voxel over there I was running, and I found like 6 or 7 crystalline shards, a couple of helium gas giants. Helium-rich gas giants. You have to be so wow, can't talk. So specific. That's a pretty good setup there. Yeah, I feel for you guys that started on console. I started on PC, and it was kind of a soft start. I played a lot of Empyrean Galactic Survival, and the guys I played with in that group all played Elite and Eve and a couple other things. And as that game got closer to release, it got farther from being a good multiplayer game and more single player focused. It feels like they took a lot of the fun out. They did take a lot of the jank out, which was good, because that game was some busted crap when we were playing it in early access. And sometimes I think we had as much fun working around that as we did playing the game. But I had purchased Elite after that game had kind of started to go belly up on us. And the first 2 or 3 times I fired it up, it didn't stick. It did not stick at all. And then when it finally did stick, a little over, it was like August of 24, I think. Oh, it stuck hard. I probably put my first 1,500 hours in then. And bought myself some sticks and stuff. Oh, it's been fun, though. I do love this game. Woohoo! Way back. I did not have the pleasure of a Commodore or an Amiga, as over here they were generally a separate thing. You had the Commodore 64, and then I can't remember, I know there was some entanglement between Commodore and Amiga, but I don't recall what it was. I was a wee lad. My first experience was Windows DOS, although I don't remember what version it was. And then the first computer I owned, owned, first computer that I had routine home access to was running 95, Windows 95. On an original Pentium, I think, or possibly just before that. It was old. It was 94, 95. I remember playing Oregon Trail with excruciatingly long loading screens and 3 CD-ROM discs to contain what is decidedly a very simple game. Sadly, I never played the old Elites, though. It has crossed my mind to go to the trouble of setting up an emulator, because I'm not turned off by the old wireframe graphics concept at all. I would kind of like to play that and see what the experience was. To see kind of the original vision that led us to this, because, man, this is a game. Especially in VR. I feel like, and now, did you, when you got into using VR, did you find it really changed what ships you like to fly? Because it did for me. Like, I was not at all a fan of the Corsair. I hated the cockpit, and I still hate the cockpit on flat screen, but I'm quite fond of it in VR. And I'm wondering if that is a unique experience I've had or something that is pretty common. But I don't bump into a ton of people playing Elite in VR. I can't imagine it would be hard to emulate. I imagine the hard part is, getting the ROM for Elite to play. But that's probably not all that hard to dig up either, in all honesty. I'm sure there's enough enthusiasts out there. But I had never played anything in the franchise. This was the first thing in the entire Elite franchise I played. And man, am I happy I did. 28 bodies of nothing. And I apologize if you can hear the dog down there slurping her water bowl. She does that from time to time, and she's not particularly quiet about it. Oh, that's no good. That hurts my soul, because it is so good in VR. Not to uh, add to your pain, but it's absolutely marvelous. That may be my next stream in Elite. I may stream some Elite in VR. It's really good for mining. I very well may do that. Not doing anything else. Oh, well, it would help if I typed it in right, wouldn't it? Always happy to have more people. We do have a squadron. If you're playing it solo and you're looking for a group of folks to play with, we've got a couple of people on your side of the pond, and we try to do semi-regular events, very low pressure. Oh, I already did this one. It's really kind of a come as you are, show up if you do. Yeah, no, I understand the jumping to waypoints thing. Man, I don't know about you, and I am a consummate explorer. I love being out exploring the world, and I don't like to rush. Those first like 3 weeks of Distant Worlds, I felt like I was tied onto the back of the space shuttle, just flying down the road. It was awful. It was entirely too fast. Hey, Trank, what's happening? Is he wrapped up? Because I popped in there for just a minute to give him a hard time and throw him a like. I get it though, because I'm in the same boat. Like last night I was completely wiped out. I got on. I literally scanned 2 systems, or might have just been 2 planets. I honestly wasn't all there. I just jumped in to do a little bit of playtime. I did not stream, obviously. And today I'm wound for sound. And I know I'm going to pay for that tomorrow because I'm not going to be able to sleep. Ah, you're in the burr pit. That's a good place to be. Especially on your side of the pond. That is a great place to be. I love the burrs. I wish I could do PitCon, but it's such an expense from over here. And my passport's out. I would have to renew that, and that's an added expense. But I think it would be a lot of fun. Seems like all the good elite conventions are over in England. I'm sure Loose Screws have one over here. I haven't really looked, but I'm sure we do. Ah, yeah, I sat here and watched him for a few minutes while I scarfed down my dinner and got the stream set up. I'm sure he's still going. He usually does at least a good 3 hours. He runs about the same as me on that one. Surely he didn't run that close and just be done. Well, I don't know what time he went live. Yeah, I still show him as live. 21 people watching, apparently. Yeah, he's still up. He's got to find that green gas giant. No rest for the wicked. I got him with a good one when I jumped in because, oh no, I've been raided. Welcome in. Thanks, Arcanic. What a guy. Look at this guy. I'm fairly certain everyone that's in my chat already saw it, but if you haven't, go check out Arcanic. Yeah, Pedo, I'd love to get to a convention. I'm not really a convention person, but if I could find one local and the timing lined up for me, I would go to an elite convention. How's it going, man? Did you find that green gas giant yet? We were just talking about you, and I poked my head over to see if you were still alive, because I popped in while I was eating dinner there and had to run. I'm going to assume, since the chat did not explode with, oh my god, he found it, that you're still, in fact, on the search. I am working my way back to Rainbow's End to hopefully get in the top 25. I certainly can't compete with your 70 pages of data turn in. That was something else. But I'll take top 25. Anytime, man. Hey, we'll see you next time. Get some rest. You probably earned it. With a parking job like you have at that SRV, you look like you need a good nap. Oh, wrong button. Well, Trank, I can offer you entertainment until at least 11. I'm sure I'll go that far. If I haven't hit Rainbow's End by 11, I will in fact keep going. Unless, of course, I crash real hard real soon, but I don't see it happening. I had about an hour and a half between getting off work and my chiro appointment, so I took a nap in the truck. For the lack of anything else to do. It's up by work, so it really wasn't worth driving home. I wouldn't have quite made it before I had to turn around and go back anyways. And then I came home and took another nap because I was feeling it. I'm a nappish kind of person. I love a good nap. And I have a couch that just seems to invite taking them. I am East Coast US, so it is just about 9 p.m. for me. In fact, me, Tranquila there, and Arcanic are all East Coast. We're all within about 400 miles of one another, oddly enough. I didn't expect when I started building out my own little elite family that I would have so many people in such close proximity. It seemed very odd, but I'll take it. How was your weather up there today? It was pretty chilly down here. I imagine it was colder up there. I had frost on the grass this morning when I took the dog out, and I was wearing gloves and a beanie for most of the day. It was the strangest combination because I had liner gloves on because that's all I needed. And then I had the beanie on, and then I still needed a sun hat. It was just an odd collection of clothing for a mailman. I probably looked like I was homeless walking down through people's yards. Well, we are in the same state, but it's significantly different weather between where I'm at and where you're at. I would attribute that to the big blue thing up there. Hey, Ghost of Elysium, welcome in. I assume you wandered over from Arcanic stream. I gather he needed to call it early and get some rest tonight, which isn't terrible. I won't hold it against him. Huh. Has this been discovered? It's got 2 terraformable. It doesn't say it's been discovered in ED Buddy. But there's 2 terraformables. They're only worth like 800,000 apiece. That doesn't seem right. Whew, 430. That's early. Count me out. I will not even begin stirring to the alarm until about 6:30. Oof, everybody's got to get up early. Yeah, thankfully we don't start until 8 a.m. So even with my drive, I can usually, as long as I shower the night before and have everything kind of laid out, I can generally get moving and going as long as I get out of bed by 6:30. And I don't particularly need to be awake the first, hour and 30 minutes. I'm just kind of driving. Ideally, you should be awake for that, but how awake is a matter of question. But hey, appreciate you stopping by, man. I generally do Tuesdays and Sundays, 8 p.m. my time, so what is that? Midnight your time, I guess? Sundays sometimes run a little earlier, just depends. But my schedule's going to change coming up here kind of soonish. So if you weren't here at the beginning, you can check out the beginning of the VOD. I kind of went through the whole spiel. Yeah, thanks for stopping in, man. And thanks for stopping in, Ghost. I gather you're also headed for the rack. Not a terrible place to be. I am 2 jumps away from starting my descent into madness. At least that's what I'm going to call it. I've not quite been all there, but whoever decided to put the Deep Space Survey Station at -600 in the plane, they were smoking something and they didn't share. I'm not happy about it, and I'm not changing my opinion. That was dumb. It's so far and out of the way. I get it. You have to be a real explorer. No, you don't. You can spanch plot it. You can star by star plot it. It's not that hard. It's just annoying. But, you know, I'm a player, not a developer. What do I know? I hate it when I don't know if it's stick drift somewhere or just the movement of the bodies in relation to where my ship is at. When things start drifting around and it's hard to hit with the thumbstick. Oh, there you go. I am... Oop. There's only one bio on that, so it's not going to be... Well, it could be the Stratum, but it probably won't be. I'm on my return trip. I already stopped and turned in data once. Not anything nearly as prodigious as what Arcanic dropped. But I am going to try to get top 25, but that's probably going to be the last time I sell data on Distant Worlds. From here on out, I'm going to be hoarding all of my data for the Elon Musk of the Elite World. Because he offers the exploration bonus, and I would like to get my rank grinded out with him. And if I can do it in 1 or 2 good data turn-ins, I'm all about it. What kind of tea did you end up with there, Trank? I was always a fan of chamomile, which is, you know, very cliche for a sleep tea, but I never felt like lemon or mint really fit the bill. Those seem to wake me up more than anything. And I know there's science there, I just don't know the science and haven't bothered to learn it. My dear sweet dog, there's a bed, there's a couch, and there's a bed just for you that I don't sleep on. Please pick one. Hi. No. We don't do the face licks, you know that. Here. Right down here. Lay down. Please. Ah! That does sound good. I know that's not everybody's cup of tea, pun intended. But I do like the rooibos. It's very earthy and rich. It's a strange tea. Yeah, I found it by complete accident and very much enjoyed it. That would be a good bedtime choice, though. Pretty sturdy stuff. Hey, Horace, what's up? Welcome in. Do you have to go outside? Yes. I have started such a dangerous trend. First rained Earth-like, let's go! That's good stuff, man. Congratulations. We're going to land on that because I want the money, but first I am going to take a real quick break. I've got to take the pup out, so I will be back in just a few moments. Hang out, and I'll see you in a few. Alright, welcome back. I'm going to change that break screen, because I have yet to take a break. When I've been streaming, they've all been for the dog. So I think I'm going to just put a picture of Bella up and say, Bella's taking a break, Murdoch will be back soon. Yeah, I don't know that I found a ringed Earth-like, to be honest. I'd have to think about it. I am glad you're enjoying Marisomnia. I have mixed feelings on it. Yep, I don't know if we're going to stay in Marisomnia, but I won't be upset if we do. Let's get focus back on the game. There we go. That works. I'm about to go find some new exo right now. And by new, I mean green lumps of money. If I can avoid crashing into this planet, you know. I do like to see them in the natural light, you know. A little harder to do with this ship. In my defense, that asp had horrible retro thrusters. Even if they're properly classed, they have horrible retros, and I was downclassed like 2 grades. Oh, you know it. That's what I lovingly refer to the stratum tectonicus as. The green lumps of space cheddar. Mostly because they're so hard to find in any other color. Once we're... you know what? I may just make that... That might be my project. My side project. My other side project. Because I have one already. No, it'd have to be my other side project. Because I'm looking for a green gas giant. I would like to find the other color examples of stratum tectonicus, which only account for about 5% of the possibility of them to begin with, and all in non-fuel stars. And then my other side project is testing the crystalline shards. I want to see if you can farm those suckers with a flak cannon. And I have my suspicions that you can. They're all so far away from the bubble. I kind of feel like if you've hauled a flak cannon out that far, you've earned it.
Landing gear deployed.
I will say, it does seem like the landing profile is better. Still not perfect, but better. And I know part of that is because it's a large ship, and I am not a large ship guy. At all. Where else can I flop this beast down? Both of those spots look promising. Let's try this slope here. If I can get in between enough rocks. Oop, yep, there was a spot there. However brief. Look at that. I love it. Think I'll take the SRV this time. Since I do have a choice in SRV, I guess I could have taken the Scorpion. It doesn't get nearly the love from me it should. It used to. It used to be my exploration SRV of choice, but since I got decent at driving this one with a controller, I do find myself reaching for the Scorpion a lot less. And part of that is sheer convenience. This is on the top of the listing. I would not mind finding some HRGGs. I found 2 in Fomorian Frontier in that voxel I was working. And I would like to find another. If I find another helium voxel, I may stick with it. Now that I've kind of made the decision, I'm abandoning the carriers, except for the occasional restock and repair. Because I won't be selling data, so there's just no reason for me to land, and not a whole lot of reason to stick with them. But I do still want to hit the waypoints and stuff, so I'll be nearby-ish, maybe? Probably. We'll see. Yeah, I'm going to be working a whole lot more exobio, I think. I like the planet hunting, and I am certainly a fan of gas giant hunting. But I've also kind of shied away from exobio lately. And in general, just because, you know, I've been covering distance trying to do something or other. And I feel like if I'm going to just kind of do my own thing in the nearby neighborhood of Distant Worlds 3, I'll be more apt to do the things I enjoy. And I honestly enjoy the hunting of exobio. And it happens to work out as a nice side quest consequence of hunting other things. Yeah, see, that's kind of where I'm at, Drake. If I'm totally honest, I love the idea of hunting for the planets. I definitely want to find them. I want to scan them. I want all of the data. I want Elite 5 exploration. I want to find all the weird configurations and stuff out there. But as a consequence of doing that, I pass a lot of biology, and I just can't help myself. Being in the Caspian certainly does help curb that a little bit. But as evidenced by the fact I was able to land on this planet at all, I do think they've tweaked that quite a bit. And it doesn't seem like it was a loud tweak, you know. I didn't hear a lot about it except from other people saying it had been tweaked. I don't recall any big FDev release saying, oh yeah, we fixed the Caspian so you can actually land with it now. Not that they're prone to that sort of announcement, but it would have been nice. Boy, we're just, who is it from Lave that does this? Alec Turner? Is he the one that rolls things down hills? Well, that was fortuitous. There's a stratum right in front of me, and I've made the distance. I may have done it in Star Fox fashion. Do a barrel roll. I did several. I'll take it, though. Yeah, I think I'll stay in the Caspian. Now that it's fixed. It's still not my favorite exploration ship. I would by far prefer to be in a DBX. And I could just as easily swap back to my DBX, but here's the thing. If I'm going to be kind of out here alone in it, then it makes sense to stay in the Caspian. I have an extra SRV already on me in case I bork up and lose this one. I have a fighter I can go down and do runs with. I can always catch up the distance because of the neutron jumping. It's a good ship for what I want to do. Just happens to be one I'm not as fond of as others. I was impressed when I was playing around with the pre-engineered SCO drive and some judicious choices. You can get a Phantom over 85 light years, and I did not realize you could do that. I thought 74, 75 was kind of its top end. And with a self-engineered drive, that may in fact be the case. But using the pre-engineered ones you can purchase from the tech broker, you can get a few more out of it. I'm still hoping for a DBX too, though. I want a small ship. I like my small explorers, and truthfully, I kind of like the limitation of not being able to take everything I want with me. The Caspian, you're very much spoiled for choice. There's absolutely nothing you can't take with you. In fact, I took everything I wanted and still had room. Way too much room. I think I've got that saved on Coriolis. Let me just take a peek. Somehow I don't. Oh, because I built that one out. It's I built it out on EDSY. Huh. Well, at some point I'll have to go in on Coriolis and swap put my build into it properly. Well, we've made the money. That's the only thing here. I do like this atmosphere. Is this neon? Sulfur dioxide. Yeah, I guess it is more blue than green. Yeah, you do have to get a Titan drive component. I will not be doing that in a Mandalay without corrosion-resistant racks and then flying around for hours on end with it, just chilling in my hold, eating my ship alive, though. That's a Delta specialty. I'm smooth brain. I'll go get the caustic rack first. And it actually varies based on, I think. Let me fact check that before I stick my foot in my mouth. I believe the material required varies based on the module. So let me. No, that's not what I wanted. Tech broker. Human. Yeah, so it does change. You need the Titan drive component for 7A SCO pre-engineered. You need it for the 6A, the 5A. Maybe it's all the A's. What was I just looking at that didn't need it? Oh, you need it for the SCO version. So you can get a pre-engineered FSD that's not SCO without that. Got it. Either way, when I'm back in the bubble, I'll be looking around. Rob, welcome in. The pre-fitted anti-goid loadout. I've heard it's acceptable. Because I have asked the same question. I have nothing set up for AX combat, and I would like to. And I know it's quite a grind. We've got a few people, Delta, his brother, one or two other people I know do AX, and they've all said that the prefab chieftain is good enough to get the job done and have fun and get started. That said, I believe it's a lot easier to get some of the AX weaponry and stuff now than it used to be. I know some of them are just a Guardian unlock, and that can be a pain, especially the data grind. I hate the Guardian data grind for whatever reason. I think it's the randomness of it, because you can sit there and scan 3 pillars and fill up on, 3 out of 4 data types and not get what you needed. It's just aggravating. But yeah, if you're willing to spend the bucks, as I understand it, it'll get you started, and you'll have fun with it. There is... Who did that? I was just watching some videos on that the other day. Let me take a peek at my subscriptions here. Who was that? ED Tutorials by Exegius. That's what I was watching. He's got a couple videos on AX builds, how to put them together, what works best, and dependent on whether you want to use the intended gameplay loop or... Oh, we're here. Okay. Yeah, we're back in the Vales. Whether you want to do the intended loop or just get bugs, which I don't see the fun in. I get the appeal if you're trying to grain combat rack or something, and if you're not familiar with gibbing, you basically set up a one-shot or a one assault and done, and it only works on the Cyclops, I think. But you can build out a ship that has enough raw DPS that if you just go in and hammer and pop some heat sinks, you can literally kill them without them getting a chance to go through the actual sequence of events that was designed. I don't see why they wouldn't kill pirates okay. I am not much of an expert there. I will tell you, the Kestrel kills pirates. Great. I do like that ship. Don't know how much I can recommend it, because it's serious power creep. The one I built out, what was it? Let me look here. Yeah, so the Kestrel I've got built out, and I'm DPS on it is 344, which as I understand it, is more than you can get out of a Corvette, which is disgusting. Corvette's got 2 huge hardpoints and hardpoints in general for days. So being able to outgun a Corvette in a small ship that nimble is silly. But to answer your question, I'm not sure. I don't see any reason they wouldn't work as well. The problem with using human weapons on bugs is they... Okay, what is your deal, ED buddy? I just want to plant a galaxy root. I'm having serious trouble here in the world. It, for whatever reason, does not want to pull the system I'm in. And I don't understand that. That's where I want to go. Yeah, see, it's not even pulling up Rainbow's End. Huh. Well, if you don't want to do it, that's fine. Spanch will do it either way. But to finish my thought there, the reason that human weapons do not work as well on bugs is they take significantly less damage of a human type. Even things like plasma accelerators that do absolute damage, it still counts as human type damage against them. So I would imagine as long as the AX weapons are doing uh, damage of one kind or another on a pirate, I don't think they would necessarily notice that they were AX weapons. But somebody better informed would probably be able to give you a better opinion than that. Yeah, as I understand it, they do work on people. But like I said, I'm not at all an expert. I am mildly annoyed that Exploration Buddy is not working the way I want it to. Because now I have to go copy this really ugly slef file and plug it into the website and the whole 9 yards. And part of the appeal, Elite Dangerous Buddy, to do that is it pulls all your ship data so you don't have to mess with it. Carrying 3 cargo. Go ahead and keep 16 tons reserve fuel. Alright, find me a way. And it's less about finding a way, because I could do that by hand. I just don't feel like mucking around on the galaxy map that much. It's a lot of clicking and dragging and... Now why would you take me backwards? You know what? I don't care. That's what it says to do. That's what I'll do. Yeah, I didn't look for a neutron star. I guess I could have done that. What's the total distance? Yeah, the total distance is only like 2 neutron jumps in this thing. Wild that it's not taking me to a neutron star to do that. Being able to spawn in a useful ship. What are you talking about there, Rob? Just being able to deploy the ARC ships anywhere? They also transfer incredibly well, because your transfer cost is based on your rebuy. If you are using an ARC's deployed ship, your rebuy is 0, which means they transfer really cheap. You still have to wait out the timer, but they do travel well. there. I think I actually skipped a jump, which is hilarious. Why are we going back? Shouldn't we be going down, or did I just overshoot? I think I just overshot on my way back. It's kind of funny. Not altogether unexpected. I will say, I still managed to get the rebuy on my Kestrel up to like 3 million, which is, in its own right, somewhat impressive. You still have to rebuy the modules. If you blow up, when you redeploy an ARC ship, if you've changed anything out, so let's say you bought the standard, if you buy just the standard, well, I guess that really only applies to the new ships. In the case of yours, yeah, the rebuy should be 0, unless you change something. If you buy the AX ship and just deploy it as is and use it as is, your rebuy will be 0. Flat 0. In my case, on the Kestrel, I bought the standard version of the ship, so I still had to account for all of the engineering and modules that I had installed on it. So by the time I was done with all that, my rebuy was like 3 million. Which, now that I think about it, 3 million on modules on a small ship is marginally disgusting. I feel somewhat ashamed now. And I'm not done with it. You know, I've still got a lot of tweaking to do. In fact, that tweaking will probably happen on this account. Noob harassing Felicity. It's not like she's doing anything else. My alt account is still harassing Felicity because she also doesn't have anything unlocked yet. And honestly, I don't know that she's going to, because being the alt account, it sees a lot less playtime, and the playtime it does is usually squad event related. So as long as I can haul, mine, and shoot stuff, I've kind of covered squad events. I'm not going to take her out exploring. That's what this account's for. So I don't know that I actually need to unlock anything other than Felicity. I can certainly get by with grade 3 dirty drag drives on most things. Okay, did this, like, just plot me somewhere I didn't need to go? It is taking me. Oh, it is not taking me. Somehow I pasted in the wrong system. How in the hell did I do that? Okay. Let's try this again. I am here. Right there. Yep, that's where I'm at now. Give me... I think I know what happened. I think when I selected Rainbow's End, I didn't actually copy the system name. It should be ZD10 something, something, something. Oh no, that is the destination system. Oh, I see what it's doing. That's a really ass-backwards way to go there, fella. I guess it is just using known stars, so I can't blame it too much. Taking me to a neutron star is what it's doing. Well, fortunately with Felicity, you can get a lot of bang for your buck with her, because you can get your grade 5 FSD upgrades. She will do grade 3 dirty clean, or what's the other one? The other drive engineering. She'll do drive engineering up to grade 3 and experimentals. She'll do power plants up to grade 1, shield boosters up to grade 1, scanners up to grade 3. You get a lot out of Felicity. It's a great first unlocked. Hey Ghost, thanks for hanging out, man. Get some rest. We'll see you next time. Probably watching Arcanic together, because I probably won't be streaming again until Sunday. I just realized I have not been scanning anything, but since I am spanch plotting now, in a perfect world, everything I come across should be discovered, right? I believe. No, I don't know. That says not explored. I have heard tell of people doing spanch plotting and finding undiscovered systems, but I don't know for sure. I doubt if just honking would, no. It may get you A rank, but it's not going to get all of them. Well, I don't know. I take that back. Maybe if you economic route and you've got a low jump range ship and you jump through a ton of systems, I suppose that's possible. I wish you the best of luck, Trank. 4 a.m. is going to come awful early if you don't get to sleep. But thanks for stopping by. We'll be around. I assume we'll see our favorite Delta Flyer back tomorrow, I believe. And I think, well, no, I don't. I'm not going to speak his intentions because I don't know what they are. I'm hoping that he's going to be doing Elite. But he does have other games he plays. And I don't know exactly what he's going to get into. I think he is going to be playing Elite, though. He still has to turn in, well, he still has to sign up for and turn in for the CG, which I think he does want to do, so we'll see. Yeah, it's a short day is a good way to do that if you got to be up that early. I know I am very sorely going to miss 8-hour days once that overtime list effect takes in. Overtime list effect takes in. Man, English is hard. Once being on the overtime list takes effect. There we go. It's been a long day. But now, once I'm back to 60-hour weeks, that's going to suck. I'll just now be getting home if I'm lucky. Once I'm on overtime. That's awful. I do not miss getting home at 9 p.m. when I left at 6 a.m. That is, well, 7 a.m. I leave at like a quarter till 7, but not getting home till quarter after 9, 9:30. That sucks. But the money is so good. And I need things. I need new joysticks. Joysticks cost money. How am I doing on time? It's only 30. Doing better than I have a right to, so it looks like we are going to make our turn in. I'm not playing and screw around until they release the next waypoint. We might go check that out. I've never seen whatever that tussock was. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and mark that. That's fair. And you're also, this is going to be for your main account moving to PC, right? Did you not migrate your account? Because that should have been an option if you were a console player. I believe you can still contact Frontier and migrate your account over. Unless you've done that and you're starting a second one. Which is valid too. I have 2 and they're both wealthier than they have a right to be. Where am I at? 35-0? Okay. Do these. Yeah, there's a lot to unlock in Colonia, though. Although, as I understand it, that's kind of the way to go for suit engineering. I don't know that I'll do it that way. Oh, there you go. Well, that has its appeal too. I've reset this account I'm playing on at least twice, so there is something to be said. That early game, enjoy that early game grind though, because it's changed. If you played on console and that was your last big stint, then that early game has changed a lot. The way things are done now is just very different. I had my alt, and I got her in making a lot of money hauling stuff for a CG, and pretty much instantly funded what I needed. And with the T11, if you're any kind of miner, you can make money hand over fist with the T11. I was merit mining for Bathwater, doing monazite. It was core mining. I was core mining something. I think it was monazite, and I made like $500 million just in like a one good day of mining, just cranking out merits. I probably could have done better if I'd focused on it, but I was, oh, no, I did that wrong. That's D94. I had 2 jumps to make there, and I forgot the second one. It is one thing that gets me with this galaxy plotting. It's kind of sneaky. It doesn't always take you directly to the star in the spreadsheet list. Sometimes it'll stop you off at a fuel star first. Kestrel, Winnebago, and a Mack truck. I assume by that you mean a Kestrel, a Caspian, and a Panther Clipper. All good choices, by the way. And the T11 is now out for credits, so there's no reason not to buy that. And honestly, you don't have to upgrade much of anything to make that useful. I think I added a 5A collector, I upgraded it to a 3A prospector, downgraded the refinery, and stuck some better thrusters on mine and called it a day. And it does real well. But not everybody does the mining thing. I will happily mine for hours. I just very much enjoy the mining, especially in VR. It's just relaxing, it's predictable, it's very zen. It's like pressure washing a driveway, which I love doing. Oh god, is it fun to mine in? Sir, let me tell you. In fact, since I don't really know what I'm going to do after I hit Rainbow's End, and we're headed there, when I get down here and get everything turned in, I will switch accounts and I will demonstrate. Because, yeah, it's a blast. I love mining in that thing. Absolutely love it. Now, wait a minute. This is supposed to be a big jump, or did I just do a big jump? Am I going to D9-4? No. I'm confused. I supercharged. Right? Yeah, I can't. Why the hell were you trying to route me? Oh, this game sometimes. Yeah, it's a blast compared to the Conda. I mined in a tier 2 laser Python. I never could love the Anaconda. I tried so many times. There's a lot less staring at rocks now, and a lot more picking the rock to shoot at. I'll put it that way. Once we get data sold here, like I said, I'll swap accounts over and we'll take a gander there. I very much enjoy the T11 though. I mean, I loved mining before, so I do have a different perspective. It wasn't a chore for me ever. It was an enjoyable gameplay loop. but it is... Where is this neutron star? Oh, I guess I wasn't zeroed on the throttle like I thought I was. I was probably doing laps around it. It's a blast. And the amount you can mine is truly obscene. It does not take long at all to fill up the hold. 7-1 OBS. Dear OBS, please stop randomly disconnecting from YouTube. It annoys me. More so, the Windows noise in my ear hole annoys me. And I know that it leads to dropped frames. So stop. You have a solid connection. Stop doing what you're doing. Yeah, but by the time I really got into the game, I had built, like, custom-built ships for every purpose that most people multi-roll a Conda for. I've bought and sold like 9 of them. I can't get it to stick. I don't love the ship. I don't, well, maybe not loving the ship is one thing. I don't like the ship, actively. Shelly! Welcome in, girl. What's happening? I am out doing some exploring, and then I'm going to swap to my alt account and show Rob there the new mining ship that came out a couple months ago. If I can find this neutron star, it's escaped me. There it is. Man, it's disorienting out here. I'm so far away that there's just no stars. We're going down in the plane. How's the Apex been treating you, girl? And how cold is it up there? Because it's been cold down here. I imagine it's real chilly up where you're... Well, maybe not. Maybe not. Alright, now I'm going to D70. Ah, I got you. Oh, hey, dinner's good. I ordered dinner tonight. I did not feel like doing any cooking whatsoever. So I got a Bob Evans pot roast. Woo! That's chilly. I think it's still hovering right around 30 Fahrenheit for me. That's 0 for you screwballs up north. We are almost there. One more jump and I can turn in this data. Do I need to neutron here? I sure do. And it's down. And for those uninitiated, when I say down here, these coordinates here show you where you are in three-dimensional space. And I was roughly at 0, which is where that bookmark is, and that line up there. And some genius at Frontier put this brand new deep space station clear down here at near -1,000. I'd like to beat him with a rubber hose, if possible. Yeah, you would definitely have a different definition of coal. I would like to make my way up there. What part of Alaska? My desires for Alaska involve a sailboat and the Inside Passage, and then maybe eventually, if skill, finances, and ability all coincide together, Northwest Passage west to east. So I would have to go up and around. But that is all a very far-flung fantasy. Kenai Peninsula. I am not familiar with that. I feel like I should be. Okay. Yeah, I know where you're at now. I know where it is. I don't know it by name. Which seems to be the case with a lot of things for me. Look at that. There isn't a star to be seen. There it is. Shelly, if you're still watching, I am so far out in the middle of nowhere that that's Andromeda, right center there, and this is the galaxy. You're over there somewhere, way back in the starter zone. And when I tilt around, there's just not a lot of stars. Well, I guess there's more above me than there are below me. Looking down further, there ain't nothing down there. Let's get over here and get this data turned in. It's burning a hole in my pocket. And I have a fine to pay, because I may or may not have splatted a dolphin on my windshield last time I was here. I gotta remember where the Scoopy station is. Oh, I had it selected. Brilliant, Pumpkin. There we go. That's quite the view, actually. Those are a really wispy cone. I like that. Certainly better than the ones that look like they're smoking coke. Yeah, I would imagine. That's kind of my rough plan if that ever comes to fruition. It's kind of tricky to time, right? Because you have to come up the west coast, and this is all assuming I start from the east coast. So my options are Northwest Passage, the correct direction, on a hope and a prayer, and being somebody who has not sailed before, that seems like a very poor idea. I believe the recommendation is somewhere around 10 or 15,000 nautical miles of solo sailing before you even think about something like that. That's a planet. Is Rainbow's End that close to a planet? The other options are Panama Canal, which is expensive, bureaucratic, and something I would prefer to avoid, or Cape Horn. So in all likelihood, what'll probably happen is I'll just buy a boat on the west coast. But I would love to work my way up the Inside Passage, probably in the summer months. The only problem with that is, if I spend a summer doing that, I then either have to hole up in Alaska somewhere, probably in Anchorage, to be quite frank, because it would be the best place with the most services, because I wouldn't be able to take on the Northwest Passage until the following summer when the ice broke up again. But that's all a pipe dream right now. Someday, maybe.
Zorgan Peterson, Julia India Mike. It's good to see you, Commander. Please enjoy your stay.
It's good to see me. You're telling me up front you're restricting my access. I don't think this is the same guy in ATC that was here the other day. Yeah, I imagine the spring and fall up there, especially on the coast, is probably pretty active in terms of weather. There's a sailing couple I watch. I'm trying to remember. I think they're Swedish. They bought an aluminum hull 45 footer on the west coast, rebuilt it in like a summer and took off. But they do a lot of high latitude sailing, anyways. They're experienced in that, and they kind of went up in the winter. They went up dodging ice up through the Northwest or through the Inside Passage, and then hunkered down up there in the bay, and just kind of chilled all winter long. I don't mind cold, but Yeah, I imagine if you've done it once or twice, it's probably not too bad. A lot of that will also depend on the state of geopolitical things at the time this imaginary dream comes true. Alright. Let's just make sure I'm where I think I am. Yeah, it still says I'm top 50. I don't understand that at all. I handed this in like the day after it posted. And with only 2 days left, I thought for sure more people would have contributed. Of course, it is an exploration one, and a lot of people hold on to their dice until the very last minute for that. Let's see what we got, though. 898 million to start. In my pocket. In my pockets is. The big thing for the canal passage for me would be having hands to handle the lines. I don't really want to go through the headache of hiring people down there, and I don't know enough people willing to go down there and do it. 67 million. Good lord, what did I find? I know I scanned a lot of terraformables, but I didn't think it was that many. That's a pretty good haul for 50 systems worth of data. Let's see what the next page gets me. Yeah, only 12. That's kind of what I was expecting. Couple million here, couple million there. And I should have at least another partial page. I might have another one still.
Incoming message.
Oh, that's the cherry on the cake right there. Elite 3. Yeah, I knew you had to hire a pilot through the Canal Trust and things. I've done a little bit of research on it. It's definitely a distant dream for me. One that I've put considerable thought into. That is one thing about being a mailman. I have nothing but time. Nothing but time to listen to books and podcasts and YouTube videos, audio only in the background. Well, we've made top 25%. I don't know that I've ever finished top 25 in any CG ever. So it would be hilarious if this were the one. Now, let's see. Why does it still say anonymous access? I paid off my fines. Colonization is inactive. I guess I could. Yeah, I'll cash those in. Why not? I'll rack up more. Maybe I'd have to take off. It's been so long since I actually had to pay a fine. Maybe that'll go away when I launch again. Go ahead and do all that so I don't forget. And that is where I'm going to leave this account for the night, I think. So give me a moment here. That's hilarious. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really looked too much into the fees. The last time I did, I want to say it was like pushing $4,000 to take a 30-ish foot sailboat through, which is a little steeper than I would like, but you know, it is what it is. That's where I'm at. That is what I want to do. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. So we'll do that for a minute while I get switched over here. That way I don't display all my stuff. I do need to switch from Steam to the other launcher. Did I close it? I did. Okay. Yeah, that's probably about the inflation rate, unfortunately. That is pretty awful. So I think it was like $4 grand for the boat. I think that was including the pilot. And then I think like the going rate I was seeing for just line handlers one end to the other, if you hired like, local people just doing that for gigs, it was like $50 a guy a day or something. 2-day transit, so I don't know. I'm not crazy about it. I'm not opposed to the idea, but it's not one of those experiences on my list like, oh, I went sailing, but I never went through the. I don't feel like I'll be missing something if I don't go. There's lots of things I'd like to do in a sailboat, but I don't know that Panama Canal's one of them. Ah, crap, I launched without my controller turned on. Please tell me you kept my keybinds. Oh, don't do this to me. You dirty dog. Well, I was almost ready. Let's see. I do keep them backed up. It's just the headache. Alright. These can go. Copy this. Paste them there. Done and done. Controller's on this time. That is true. You are real close right there. Honestly, I think the way to do it would be to go down and tie up in Cologne and then go handle lines on somebody else's boat just to get the experience. I feel like that would resolve a lot of the anticipation for when you took your own boat through. Because you'd know the route, you'd already kind of know what to expect. Welcome to Astrid, Jim Murdoch's far more independent younger sister. Oh, there is so much. Like I'm sure that adventure will begin in the Caribbean. there's nowhere else to do it. Sunny all year round, beautiful clear water. If you're gonna cut your teeth in sailing, that's the place to do it. Really, what I should do is bank up some vacation and just take a cut. Like I can take up to 2 weeks at a time, and if I time it right, it works out to be almost 20 days. Because I can pair one of those weeks with a long weekend. But if I could get that to line up with not a charter, but like one of the trips where you can sign up and go just assist somebody moving a boat, that would be a good way to get some experience in. It's just so far on the back burner right now, unfortunately. Oh, I'm on my own carrier. Is my T11 also on my own carrier, or do I have to go find it somewhere? It's not here. Where is it? I was mining for bathwater. Well, it shouldn't be but a few jumps to get over there, I guess. If I could figure out what button I was pushing. 16 jumps? That seems steep. There's something wrong with this ship. No, that looks about right. Well, no time like the present. Oh, so it is. I turned it back on and then I forgot to transition it over because I've got OBS in studio mode. That's alright, you didn't miss anything exciting. I just launched off my own carrier. Well, launched my alt off of my mains carrier. This character doesn't have that kind of cache laying around yet. One of these days. I got a few jumps to get to my T11 though. But buckyballing it, this shouldn't be too painful. It's only 16 jumps. This is the Mandalay. A ship I absolutely detest. But for the price, it does go places and it does carry things while you do it, so it's really hard to complain about. I don't necessarily mind the look in flight. I think it looks ridiculous on its landing gear, and in VR, those humps on the side, right there, those lumps, they just annoy me. I'm very particular about my cockpits, I don't know why. But if you fully engineer this thing and strip it down to the bucket seat and the gas tank, you can get a single jump of over 98 light years out of it, so it's hard to argue. It goes places and it does things. It makes a really good bubble bus. It also is great for mat grinding, engineering runs. It's great for power play in most respects. Ah, there you go. I'm running two 24s, I think. 24 wides. When I want the real immersion, I just throw the VR headset on. It is SCO compatible. I think I've got like 64, yeah, I've got 64 cargo capacity on here too. All while jumping 71 light years maximum. The power creep on the new ships is something else. It's awful. Well, it's awful if you love your old ships. If you're a new player just coming into the game, it's great. It feels good, you know, everything kind of... How do I want to put it? The new ships make everything more fun and less work. Which, if you're an older elite player, makes it feel like it's not elite anymore. Because the hair-pulling grind is half the fun, right? But I can see how it's very appealing to newer players. Out of the new ships, I think my favorite is the Cobra Mark V. As far as just general purpose ships. The Cobra 5 does outstanding work. A lot of the same properties as the Mandalay, doesn't jump quite as far. General loadout on my Cobra 5 is like 45 to 55 light years. Stripped down for exploration, I got one all the way up to 67, 70 light years, something like that. But this ship was made to be a small exploration, or a medium exploration ship. And it's perfectly suited to that job. They give you one size 6 for your fuel scoop. They give you one size 5 for your frameshift drive booster. And then an embarrassment of riches below it. And I need to get close enough to actually scoop. Do I not have a size 6 scoop on this thing? I don't. I have a size 4 scoop. Ouch. Why did I do that? Yeah, that's a 4. Oh, for the cargo, because I've got cargo in the 6E. I'm certain my intention when I did that was to remember when traveling to swap out and put a 6 scoop on. Because it's pretty easy to find a cargo rack and a fuel scoop, wherever you go. But I didn't think that one through, clearly. It's alright. Should be able to do this in like 3 fuel stops. It's not terrible, I guess. It also runs real cool. You'll notice I'm still up next to the star, and I'm probably going to be charged and jumping right about the same time I start to cook things. Yep, I didn't break 100. I tried. It just runs cold. Suppose I could have just bought a T11. The system I was in. I don't know why that didn't occur to me. I think I've got the money for that. Yeah, I could have swung it.
Frameshift drive charging.
I just put a bunch of money into the Panther for this account. And I think I bought an extra T9 just to have one available. Because a bunch of my Panther and one of my T9s for this account are on my main character's fleet carrier out doing squad colony work. So I bought another T9 in the bubble just to leave for trade runs and power play stuff, knowing that I can sell it back at the same price. So I'm renting a T9, I guess. You know, you gotta have a budget truck in the family.
Frameshift drive charging. System scan complete.
And the price on these isn't bad. If you're just starting out, I want to say the base price on these are 17 million. A little less in lease space. It's hard to beat. If you're trying to do a one ship till you grind everything out, it's a good choice. Especially for a bubble runner, it's really hard to beat. I was using a DBX just because they're so cheap.
Frameshift drive charging.
Luckily, this is also a size 5 FSD, I believe. Yeah. So the FSD I engineered for my DBX, I just migrated over here when I sold it. I can't even remember why. I must have been doing some hauling last on this account. I was. I went over to finish Delta's ground installation. Because I had to move Herschel back and load up some odds and ends. Because we loaded the squad carrier, but we loaded it for a Coriolis, and that is not what we ended up building. So we were missing things. I do wish I could merge accounts in as much I wish I could control my fleet carrier from this character. Being as how I own both accounts. Sadly, that's not the case. Account swapping to move carriers and change buy orders is kind of a pain in the ass. If I get another 5 billion on this account, I probably will buy a bare bones fleet carrier for it, just to haul material with. It's bare bones with nothing installed. It's, well, I'd probably still put refuel, repair, and rearm on it, but even with just those, it's like 7 million a week. It's not bad.
Disengaged. Frameshift drive charging.
And I love how even with a class 4 fuel scoop, just sipping at each star, I'm not really dropping fuel. I've kind of been at half tank for a minute now. I'm sure I'm dropping a little here and there. Anybody else always flip top up towards the star, or is that just me? Realistically, that's not the way to do this, because you'd be getting cooked through the glass. You would really want to fuel scoop bottom down, if you were going to do it. But I find it, for whatever reason, easier to follow the contour when it's above me rather than trying to do it below me, because I can always look up and see the star, but you look down. Well, I guess on the Mandalay you got that footwell window, which is ostensibly for exploration, but if you've ever flown an ASP Explorer, you'll understand that that ain't no exploration window. You do wingtips down. I always wonder what other people, because I have all kinds of weird quirks like that, and I always wonder if I'm the only one. I'm sure everybody does it one of those two ways. It doesn't make sense to do it any other way. I mean, I've gone sideways around them before. For that, it really depends on how well the ship yawls. If I remember right, the Mandalay actually yawls pretty well. Let's find out. Better turn the orbit lines on for that. Yeah, it yawls well enough to do it. Captain No Name. This is Murdoch from Arcane Extreme. How you doing, man?
Frameshift drive charging.
Welcome in. I've already turned in the data, so if you came over based on the stream title, I apologize. Oh yeah. It's always fun when you find a good box little map. I do enjoy doing that. I'm hoping, since I'm kind of going to peel off DW3 on my other account, I'm really hoping that I find some more stuff, and if I find another good helium-rich box, I'm definitely going to sink my teeth into it. I had to leave that other one. It's 39 systems out of 170 done, so eventually I'll have to go back over there. I appreciate it, man. I'm heading over. I'm on my second account, so I'm heading over to grab my T11 to show Rob there what the T11's like, because he hasn't mined in one. He was playing on console and was laser mining in Anaconda, so we're gonna show him the light. Plus, I didn't really know what else to do. I made it to Rainbow's End, turned in. I'm in top 25 now. Certainly not the prodigious 70 pages Arcanic turned in, but I'm going to hold my data for the rest of the expedition. And I didn't really feel like going out and exploring more right this minute. So I thought, why not? Let's jump over on the alt and check out some stuff. It is very smart if you're an explorer. I don't see a lot of other uses where it makes sense.
Frameshift drive charging.
I assume you are waiting on a steam frame, sir. And if you are, you're smarter than me. I couldn't hold out, so I got a Quest 3. Every time I use it, not that it's a bad experience, but I'm reminded that it's a great standalone headset and I'll never use the standalone features. 98 pages, holy crap. I was streaming when he was turning those in, and Tranquilo was kind of keeping me posted, so I had him up on the other monitor, but I had him muted because I was streaming. And when I popped in, he still had like 40 pages to go, but I didn't hear about it until it's 70. 98 total. Holy shit. That's a lot of data. It's a lot of scan. I mean, he jumps a lot more than I do. He's definitely a speed scanner. I don't do it quite that way. Yeah, no, I get it. Sometimes that's the way it goes. I had to move unexpectedly. I had a new property management company buy the apartments I was living in, and they were pulling some shady shit. So I whipped out the state laws that said they could pound sand, and I left. I was crashing on my buddy's couch for about a month while I got things situated. I was stuck playing on a POS laptop with a controller, so
Frameshift drive charging.
where there's a will, there's a way, but it sure ain't playing in VR and high res. It's, whew. You know, I thought that when I watched him scan planets too. Tranquila says she does almost that fast too. She's also a keyboard and mouse player. I might have played 4 hours total keyboard and mouse. Well, no, I had to play more than that. But I'll bet it's not more than 60. I was not playing long before I bought a HOTAS. I could not do it. Hey, we finally arrived in this system. 16 jumps later. What a haul. Apparently I passed it. It's like 3,500 light seconds, so it's got to be right in here. There it is. Be lazy. Yeah, no, I feel the money grind. I'm jumping back on the overtime list starting in April. So back to 60-hour weeks, leaving at 6:45 and getting home not quite an hour ago. So my weekday streams are probably going to have to be rotating. I'll still be able to do Sunday nights. I generally do Sunday nights at 8. Sometimes I'll start earlier at 6 or 5. But for mailmen, our days off rotate. We have like a color calendar that lays it out in a year in advance. So one week it's Monday off, the next week it's Tuesday, the week after is Wednesday. And every so many weeks you get Friday, Saturday, Sunday all in a row. But you always get Sunday, so I will probably have to do Sunday streams, and then whatever my day off that is. I'm not gonna like try and post a schedule on my YouTube page or anything. I'll just try to schedule it an hour or two in advance and post it around so folks know about it. Best I can do under the circumstances. Oof, yeah, that's no good, dropping hours from 40. That's one thing I can't complain about. I've always got the option of 40. It's a question of whether I want to do 40 hours a week or 60 hours a week. There's not really a middle ground at the post office. You're either on the overtime list and they're working the dog shit out of you, or you're working your own route and going home at 8 hours. Which kind of sucks. I would like, if there was an option to do like 10-hour days and just work till 6:30, I'd be fine with that. I would make plenty to sustain myself and have some play money on the side and still have a life. But I guess what I'm going to do is 6 months of the year on overtime, 6 months off. So I'll do the 2 summer quarters. That makes the most sense to me. That's usually when vacations are heavy, and you know, it's also daylight the entire time I'll be working. And since I walk, and I'm one of the few people in our station that do, anytime there's walking mail, I get stuck with it. So being daylight is a plus. You know, around Christmas time, I did a lot of delivering mail by headlamp, and that is no bueno. But it seems to me those are the times. I would rather be off early in the winter and be home. Oh God, if we could do 410s, I'd be all on board with 410s. Hell, I'd do 510s if I could just have 2 days off and get, 50 hours a weekend. I was starting to get a little broken down and beat up though. I had to go into the chiropractor, and the first thing he told me is, well, you should probably slow down a little bit until we get this straightened out. So I did, and I'm feeling much better. Admittedly, he was right, but feeling the crunch. I'd probably feel less of it if I'd get on it and file my taxes so I could have that returned, but I'm a slacker. It's kind of like renewing my car registration. Every year I get the letter in the mail. It says, hey, it's almost time. Renew by mail or renew online. And I always open it and go, yeah, I'll do that this year. And then I'm running over there the day of my birthday going, hey, I forgot. Horrible procrastinator. I've long wished we could do 410s though. I am very much a person who values my own time. Or at least values that I have time to do the things I want to do rather than things I have to do. And I suspect that's a modern society problem. Back when you worked all day for yourself, but it was productive work, i.e. putting food on your table, working on your own property, that kind of thing, as a means of survival. I feel like that was probably way more rewarding in and of itself than going to work for a corporation doing work that really doesn't matter other than it provides a paycheck for you to pay bills you shouldn't have to pay in the first place. Not that I think everything should be handed to me for free, but I don't think I should pay an income tax and then out of the money I have left have to pay sales tax on everything. And then state income tax. I just feel like by the time they're done taking things out of your pocket, you don't have anything left. And I work for Uncle Sam. I know he's a bastard. Alright, so here is the Type 11 mining ship. I'm a big fan of this, really and truly. It is a not symmetrical design. It's also a kind of a departure from a lot of the other ships they've designed. But you are more or less on the center pillar. You're offset, but the thing sitting next to you also has enough slots that you can carry everything to do everything with. We'll take a quick peek at the outfitting here. It has mining-specific hardpoints. So there's the mining volley repeater, which only fits on this ship to my knowledge. I've got a 2B seismic, a 2B displacement, not that I ever use it. I've got a turreted burst on top just for pirate defense, if it comes to that. And then an abrasion blaster and some more burst lasers. I went with shield boosters, point defense, and a pulse wave analyzer. Honestly, this thing scoots. It shoots and scoots. It really is pretty quick for a medium. I didn't do anything real special here. I've done a little engineering on the FSD. I've got it sitting at, I think 192 cargo. Yeah, 192. I did add a collector limpet controller. This is the big thing. For this ship, the Mark II mining limpet controller spits out 14 active limpets. It's absolute insanity. That is in there because there is a fighter hangar locked slot. It's the only thing you can put in there, and since jump range is not a concern, I said, why the hell not? Other than that, I kind of did standard stuff. I upgraded the 1A to a 3A because I like being able to, kind of pick my next target as I go. Most of the time I'm mining a single material, so a 2A refinery is just dandy. And I've got a Type band in there. So, let's get my blood-sucking crew member set to active. Why not? Throw some limpets on here. We'll go do a little mining. Hey, you want to let me into that menu? Thanks, pal. I appreciate it. I doubt I'll fill up, but just in case I decide to, 85 should do it. It's usually right about right. Let's look at that system map, because I can't remember what's here. Hey, stop that. Whose bright idea was it to bind vertical thrust and map zoom? Oh yeah, that was me. What do we got up here? We got a metallic and a rocky. So if there's a platinum hotspot there, I think that's the way to go. I've got to mine something that might as well be worth my time. This thing does scoot around. He's not kidding about it, the fastest ship, though. Man, it moves. Moves material, too. It's the fastest ship in the West in more than one way. I don't know what you're talking about. I never hit that dolphin at Rainbow's End doing anything like that. There is a platinum hotspot. Come to Papa. Probably over on the other side of this gas giant. Or it could be behind us. That also works.
Frameshift drive charging. Frameshift drive.
Mine's not super fast. I don't think I have all three available grades of engine. I've done some engineering, but mostly I think on the FSD. And I think that's because it was pinned. Yeah, I haven't done anything to the thrusters. Whoa! That did not go at all according to plan. Wouldn't be me if I didn't try to crash into something. Delta just makes it look like he's going to crash into something. I actually hit shit. If you're going to do it right. The cooldown of shame. Mining in VR is a lot of fun. It's not terrible on flat screen. I will say, I kitted this out in Coriolis as an exploration ship because it does have pretty decent windows. Believe it or not, you can crank this puppy up to 70 light years and haul all the stuff you want in it. Food for thought. If you're an explorer and you're looking for a weird ship to take out in the black, Type 11's viable. It's very viable. 70 light years and SCO capable, and a medium ship. Plus, it just looks fucking cool. I mean, look at this thing. And when you land, those little side nacelles kind of tuck in like bird's wings. It's just a cool ship. I think out of all the stuff, newer stuff that Elite has designed, the Dev Devs put in, this is probably one of the cooler things. I will say, that cargo hatch, I don't know what it is. Actually, I know exactly what it is. It's the spawn point for limpets within the 3D model of the ship. It needs breakfast. Speaking of limpets, I did turn on Heist. Finally. And now you too can earn limpets. Alright, let's get over here to this ground spot. to go ahead and change that text, though. It doesn't really fit with my channel. One thing at a time, though. Not a pro streamer. This looks like as good a spot as any.
Okay, I'm in the hot seat. Initiating deployment.
I don't see any pirates, so I'm gonna go ahead and get to business.
Pilot prepped. Say the word, Commander.
I do find the repeater to be a little power hungry. Usually 3.5 pips will keep me going. How do I deploy hardpoints? I don't remember how to deploy my hardpoints. Oh,
Capacity exceeded.
what a noob. It's not like I've been flying with this exact same controller scheme for like 2 years. Not at all. Let's shed some light on the situation. I'm still set up for core mining. Let's see to that real quick here.
Prospector limpet engaged. Asteroid scan complete.
Now, give me prospectors on 2, collectors on 1, volley on 1. And Mark II controller on 1. Just in case. That wasn't what I wanted.
Limpet drone. Programming limpet drone.
What have I done here? I have done something to my targeting key.
Prospector limpet engaged.
Oh.
Asteroid scan complete.
15%, I'll take it. Time in the ship.
Cargo free.
You do want to keep moving when you're mining with this ship because as you can see, that mining volley produces large chunks in addition to small fragments. And if you pop those large chunks with the volley repeater, it will actually destroy them. Also will kill your limpets. So try not to hit them. That's a rock done though. We'll let those guys keep doing their thing and we'll hunt around. Mining in this ship is absolutely stupid fast. There's no two ways about it. And I think my prospector ran into my collectors. That does happen on occasion. There we go. And I might be picking up crap because I think I reset my filters for the merit mining I was doing.
Prospector limpet engaged.
How we doing there?
Asteroid
We still
scan
got quite a few
complete.
chunks. So we'll give them a minute here. Get those last couple of collectors going too. So I have a total of 17 collector limpets out. You could conceivably trade. Trade another cargo rack. Am I running? Nah, what have I got on here? I have something that doesn't belong. doesn't belong. I've got a fuel scoop, so that's working for what I've been using this ship for, but you could
Shields offline.
you could also swap that fuel scoop for another 5A collector and put 20 limpets out. And if you're going for max efficiency, that's probably the way to go. I find 17 is plenty fast. It would be faster if I hadn't just killed them all off with one fell power mismanagement. But you have that. Because this mining repeater also gives you large chunks, again, unless you're going for like super min-max efficiency, you can afford to take on lower percentage rocks. That was a 10% rock, and I didn't bat an eye at hitting it, because I'm still going to get plenty of plat out of it. So I don't do something stupid like that again. I'm just going to turn that off. That was most unfortunate.
Complete.
It does create quite a sight, though. And you better have your filters set before you pull the trigger, or at least before you release the limpets, because trying to chase anything down in the contacts list rapidly becomes impossible. If you're trying to land on something in particular to knock it off, good luck. As an example, it appears I'm...
Engaged.
39%. Take that space cheddar. Oh yeah, we're picking up all kinds of shit. Alright, that should fix it. At least for the moment. But as you can see, 3 rocks in, I've already got 30 platinum sitting there. And I haven't been terribly picky about the rocks I've been in. If you were running like a mining map, you would really be raking it in. Really got to watch the prospector limits. So this thing really does chew them up if you're not. I almost want to pull up when I release one.
Prospector limpet engaged. Micro limpet drone. Asteroid scan complete. Prospector limpet failed.
demonstration. See if I can hit that thing. Accuracy is obviously not a strong suit. There we go. So it does destroy them if you hit it, and it will absolutely kill off a limpet. I unfortunately hit limpets all the time. They just have a fondness for flying right in front of you. Sometimes you can work it out. I have got to trim this mustache. It's driving me nuts. I've got one curling up into the right, just tickling the bottom edge of my nose. And it's been doing it all day. That's gotta go. Can't even remember what I was saying now. Seemed important at the time. Sometimes you can get set up kind of like this, where everything's flying off to one side, and your limpets are working away from the volley repeater. That does help you not pop quite as many of them. Touch too fast there. I think about 85 is the best I get away with routinely. And I am giving just a little bit of up on the stick there, just pitching up. So we only got 15 over here. Nothing in there. Platinum subsurface. I don't normally do this minigame, but why not? It's there. Just wait for it to come back around. Platinum too. Let's see how bad I can bork this up. hard to do while you're orbiting. That was bad. That was terrible. I gotta be running out of cats' lives here. Yeah. Luckily, there's two of these. Figure I'll just stop trying to be fancy.
Connector input expired.
Ah, come on.
Input expired.
Dirty bird, you should have gave me one more orange tick to hit. Yeah, that's why I don't do that very often. But even stopping to screw around and do a subsurface deposit. 60 platinum and, what, 5 rocks? It's really hard to beat the TLIP. And by hard, I mean it can't be done. At least not for
Connector
surface
input
mining.
expired.
I could see an argument being made that something out there is better suited to core mining, but I don't know. I mean, they made laser mining fun again, and far more efficient than it ever was. So it's hard not to enjoy mining. And it's almost impossible to say that any old mining setup is still worth anything. I know this thing mines my Python into the dirt. Which is a shame. Because I love that Python. And I put the extraction kit on it. Got a couple of fancy paint jobs for it. So I struggle with the idea that it's useless now. Which is going to be the problem with all the new ships. They all power creep and create a new meta. What are you going to do? You know, that's the content they're giving us. I could have stopped doing that a minute ago. I think some of those blips on the radar back there are platinum from the subsurface deposits. Maybe not. I don't know what that is. They're way back there though. Must be something I left behind. Probably intentionally. You got time for one or two more rocks at least.
Prospector limpet
Ain't gonna be that one. rocks bust.
Asteroid scan complete. Prospect eliminated.
Second rock's a bust. Third rock's a bust. Come on, this is a platinum hotspot. Give me the platinum.
Asteroid scan complete. Prospect
There we go, 41%. I'll take that. I briefly dabbled with Eve, Rob, but only very briefly. It didn't click with me. I believe I still own it. I think I bought that on Steam. Yeah, I do own it. I've played 8 hours. 8 whole hours. It just wasn't my style. It seems like it's more of a space management than a space simulator. Which, I mean, that's got its place. What was that? 30 minutes of light mining? I certainly wasn't being very efficient about it, and I pulled 90 tons of platinum. The ship is a force to be reckoned with.
Ready to
And
move
like I said,
back to
it's a
ship,
viable explorer. Also looks cool as hell. Not much good in a fight. Out of the non-mining restricted hardpoints, you only get 4. And I think they're all size 1 except for maybe the top one. Yeah, the top's a size 2. But pretty much everything else... Yeah. I've shot a few pirates up at this thing, but it's not what it's made for. And it's not very good at it. I see I was bumping rocks there because my bioweave's coming back up. Need to put a shutdown field neutralizer on here. Ah, I got you. Well, I do a little bit of everything. Our squad does quite a little bit of everything, and you don't have to be in the squadron to hang out with us by any stretch of the imaginations. I hang out in Delta's Discord, and we are the Delta Flyers. I just have no interest in building a whole community. I'm never going to make enough money streaming, and right now I make 0. But it's never going to be enough to get me on my sailboat and out of the post office, so I figure why split our community up. But we do a little bit of everything. We've got some people that are into AX. This month we were doing a big colony push. We found ourselves a little chain out off the side of the bubble, kind of. This will probably be the So we've been working on colonizing this area here. We found a chain running out this way, and we started working on it. We've got an emporium right here that one of our players built out that more or less has all of the colonization materials available, and it's within a carrier jump of this little bubble we're building out here. We did some mining nights. We've got a carrier, a squadron fleet carrier and stuff like that. So we do a little bit of everything, but we've got folks in that Discord that play with us in Elite that are certainly not in our squadron. I mean, the guy that built out that Emporium system, he has his own squadron with a couple of my buddies from the Empyrean Galactic Survival days. And we've got 2 or 3 other guys in there that have their own squads and their own squad carriers, and they just like to dip in and do some colony and hit and run. So, it all depends on what you want to do. We welcome pretty much anybody, pretty low pressure. JOATs instead of goats. I'm afraid I don't get the reference. I'm getting old. Goats I get. Greatest of all time. You'll have to give me some context on that one. Ah, yeah. Never seen it put that way. I like it, but I've never seen it put that way. Yeah, that kind of sums up our collectiveness, though. And we try, like I said, we try to do some squad events, and they're pretty loose. They're generally Thursday nights Eastern Daylight Time, or Sunday during the day. That accommodates our folks across the pond. I'm trying to think. We've got a couple of people on Mountain Time, and at least one New Zealander. Those are probably the closest to you in time zone. Actually, I think we've got 2 New Zealanders, and maybe an Aussie in there somewhere. I'm not sure. We've got a pretty wide group, but we try to do time slots that are at least reasonable for most people to get to if they want. And it's not like, you know, you have to show up or we're going to kick you out or anything like that. It's very, whoever shows up, and we'll have a good time with who does. It's kind of the way we do that.
Blake on Alpha Sierra Tango. It's good to have you with us. Welcome to the station, Commander.
Just makes good sense.
Please make your way to landing pad 38.
But we try to have some fun. I know Delta's going to be streaming tomorrow night. He's out on business. Normally he does Mondays and Wednesdays as a guarantee. And then squeezes in whatever else he can, wherever else he can. And if you guys are not familiar with him, you should definitely go check him out. He's also got 2 commanders. He's got his main here in the bubble, and he threw together an alt and screeched out on DW3 with us. So he's out exploring with one Delta Juan. And we have a private player group we all generally hang out in. And as soon as I get through this mail slot, I'll throw that in there too. I think I set that command up. We're about to find out. No, maybe. Oh, no, there we go. Somewhere. I typed it somewhere. Oh, it's because the stream's on Top Chat. Who did that? I want to know who did that. Who at YouTube, Google, Alphabet, whatever they call themselves, decided that the streamer chat would default to Top Chat and not All Chat? I get it for viewers. Makes perfect sense. But for the streamer, why wouldn't it default to All Chat? So that's just silly.
Landing gear deployed.
Maybe I didn't put that command in yet. It's just Delta 1246. That's the private group. Same as Delta's channel. And it should auto-accept. We welcome anyone. The only rule is no non-consensual PvP, which I think goes for pretty much all private groups that I know of. And this is probably going to sell like hot garbage here, because that is not at all what I should be mining. You know, 235 is not terrible. Not great, it ain't terrible. I'll take the merits. How am I doing on that? I haven't been on this account this week, so probably not great. Oh, I'm getting close. I just need to get up to prismatics. That's all I need. But I'm going to call it there for the night. We did some exploring, we did some mining, showed off some ships. Don't think any of the other new ships are for sale here. They might be. Doesn't hurt to look real quick, right? So the Kestrel, if you've got it unlocked, can be bought here. If you haven't flown that thing in combat and you have any desire to do combat, that's the ship to do it in. It is a lot of fun. Yeah, welcome in anytime, man. Yeah, maybe if you got some other ships you want to take a look at next time, let me know. I don't have a Cobra 5, but I could certainly buy one. I love this ship. I've got this on my main out in the black. I've done some exploring with it, but mostly I use it around the bubble and for power play stuff. It's a very capable ship for that. The Mandalay we were in. The Type A. If you were previously using a Python, this is your new medium transport. 400 plus tons of cargo. I think you can do that shielded if you've got some pre-engineered racks. But even shielded, with an FSD booster, you can get like 350 in there. It does real well. I think the Mamba is newer. I don't know how new. Python Mark II, good for some AX. I think it was mostly meant for PvP though. It's not. It's Python Mark II in name only. It does none of the things the Python does well except combat. But it does that pretty well as I understand it. The Corsair, that's a good medium ship. That's kind of the Python replacement. It's very much an Imperial looking ship, but no rank unlocked to get it. Thrusters are a little underdone. I would actually, it's the one ship I genuinely put drive distributors on for an experimental. It does real well with that. But it does need engineered up to reach its full tilt. But this thing is great for a medium all-rounder. It's got real good convergence on the hard points. It's got 6 altogether, I think. And plenty of internals. It does wonderful for just, bumming around doing stuff, knocking out missions. The Panther, the Caspian, you know about those. I think that covers it. Yeah, it does. Oh, you talking about the Corsair? It is a fun ship. It's not one I enjoy on flat screen though. It's got the courier cockpit, as I understand it. And if I'm not in VR, it just looks like a really expensive tunnel. But in VR, it's great. I do like it though. This character actually had one, and will probably switch back to one. I have an unfounded hatred for the Mandalay, so I am going to switch away from it. And you can coax 70 light years out of a Corsair, depending on what you do to it. It's not a terrible ship for, getting around doing things. It would probably make an okay explorer, actually. But that's going to be it for me tonight. We've had some fun. By all means, come back out and hang out. I will be watching Delta tomorrow evening, starting at 8 Eastern Daylight. And I think Thursday we might try to do some squad activities. This month for March we've kind of been doing mostly colonization, and I think in April we're probably going to shift more towards combat. I know everyone's got itchy trigger fingers because most of February was mining for the fleet carrier, the squadron fleet carrier. But we'll be back. I will be back on Sunday, and if you were here way back in the beginning, you may have heard me talking about some Vintage Story stuff. I do like Vintage Story. I am going to add that in somewhere. I haven't decided how, when, or in what form. But it is a ton of fun, and I would love to show it off a little bit. So that's going to do it for me tonight, folks. Thanks for hanging out. Don't forget to hit like on the way out, and we'll catch you next time.